Assalamu alaikum, boys. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope you had a good weekend, and I'd love to hear where you went for the weekend and what you did. This is our first lesson for the weekend. It's about Unit 6. It's a review of Unit 6, and I'm going to go over all of the things that we covered in Unit 6, and it's supposed to get us ready for our unit test. Now, our unit test is tomorrow, and I know some of you are going to freak out. I repeat, don't freak out. Do not freak out, okay? Please don't freak out about this test. It is just an online quiz. It's a Google quiz like all the other ones you've done. It's going to be open all day, so you could take your time on it and do a good job, okay? It's mostly multiple choice, and even if it shows you that an answer is wrong, I'm going to review it before I put in your marks, okay? So don't worry, you should be fine, all right? Now, in this unit, we covered different ways of measuring things, and one way to measure things is time, okay? And the way that we measure time in days is using a calendar, okay? And so they're going to ask you a couple questions about calendar time. Now, they might give you a number date, and they'll ask you to write it in standard form, or they'll give you a standard form date and ask you to write it in metric notation. Well, metric notation, guys, is when you write the year, the month, or the day, the month, and the year. For the test, I'm going to tell you right now, focus on the year, the month, and the day. So basically, smallest to the biggest. Okay, that's what I want you to focus on, really. So you'll write something like 2000. Okay, so if we're trying to write October 31st, the year 2000, we'll start with 2000 uh, slash 10 slash 31. Okay, so remember that either way, the month comes in the middle. Okay, all right. So let's have a look at this. We have February 14th, 2008, and this is the way you should focus on it. 2008, 02, 2 is the month of February, and the 14th, which is the 14th day of February. They have another one where they're giving you the 14th and the month, the 02 and 2008. I wouldn't focus on that much. Focus on this version. The year being the biggest and coming first, and then the month, and then the day. Okay. The same for March 7th, 1996. You'll have 1996, and then over here we have 03 for the month, which is March, and 07, which is the day. Okay. Either way, the month is the number in the middle. Okay. And sometimes only the last two digits are used for the year. Again, don't focus on that. Focus on the four digits for the year. That comes first. In the middle is the month, and at the end is the day. Okay? All right. Now, perimeter. Perimeter, as you know, is the distance that goes around an object. Okay? So like a wall around your house, or a fence around your garden, or a ribbon around a border, or a frame around a painting. Okay? The perimeter is side plus side plus side plus side. So the length side, and then another length side, and then the width side, and then the other width side. So the length, which is 8 centimeters here, and then the other length, which is another 8 centimeters, and then the width, which is 5 centimeters, and then the other width, which is 5 centimeters. 5 plus 5, that's 10. 8 plus 8, that's 16. 16 plus 10 is 26. Okay? Easy peasy stuff. Area. Area is the cousin of perimeter, but it covers the area inside of an object. Okay? So the area inside the object, and you're just going to take the length and the width, and you're going to multiply them. So over here, we have an example. We have an example here where the width is 2 and the length is 3. Well, we're going to multiply that. 3 times 2 is 6. And also for those guys who can, you have grid paper. I mean, you can just count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Basic stuff. Okay. Now, the only difference between when you're writing the answer for perimeter and the answer for area is after you write the answer for area, you're going to put a small 2 at the top. It's an exponent 2, and all that means is it is squared, because when you are measuring an area, you are measuring it in squares. Okay? Okay, so, sorry. Okay, the surface area of a square. Okay, well, again, that's length times width. So if we have a 6 by 6 square, the area is going to be 36. If we have a 7 by 7 square, the area is going to be 49. Okay? Easy, easy, easy stuff. No reason to freak out. Okay, if you know your basic multiplication, you should be good. Okay, the perimeter and area of rectangles. Okay. Again, same thing as squares. Perimeter is the area around, and the area is the amount of space that's covered inside. Okay, so drawing rectangles. Okay, something to keep in mind when you're drawing a rectangle is to draw the length and the width, and keeping track of the dimensions, making sure that the two sides have the same length. And then the other two sides also have the same length. Okay, that they are equal. All right, you try it. I want you to find all the possible whole number dimensions of rectangles with the following perimeter. So if I have a rectangle with the perimeter, so meaning all four sides are 8 centimeter, they add up to 8 centimeters. Tell me all the different ways I can make it. The perimeter is 8. So we're going to go to the next slide for the answer, but if you have the answer, you can put it in the comments below. 8 centimeters, okay, there's only two. Here we go. We have a 3 and 3 and a 1 and 1. And then we have another one that's 2, 2, 2, and 2, which is a square, but a square falls into rectangles. Okay. The area of this rectangle, find the area of the given rectangle. Well, the answer is up here, 27 centimeters square. How do we get that? We times 9 by 3, and when we wrote the answer, which was 27, we put a small 2 at the top, exponents. Okay. All right. I want you to find all the possible whole number dimensions of rectangles with the following areas. Remember, there may be more than one answer. Okay, so we're looking at 4 centimeter squares. Can you guys tell me all the possible ways to make a rectangle with an area of 4 centimeters square? I'm going to pause for a second. You can write your answer in the comments below. Okay, good. And here are your answers. 2 by 2 or 4 by 1. Okay, here we go. The perimeter. I want you to draw and label all the possible rectangles with the whole number dimensions on the grid. So for A, we're looking for the length to be 5 and the width to be 3. So here we go, 5 and 3. For B, 2 and 7, 7 and 2. For C, we'll have 2 and 1. For D, 2 is already there, and the other one is another 2. And for D, we have 3 by 1. Very good. The perimeter will equal 8. Okay, here we go. We're going to draw and label all the possible rectangles with the whole number dimensions on the grid below. So rectangles with the area of 10. Okay, so we have the first one, which is a 1 by 10 rectangle. The second one is a 2 by 5 rectangle. For a rectangle with area of 8, we'll have a 1 by 8 and a 2 by 4. Very good. Okay, a word problem. You might get a word problem like this, where you're going to have to solve for perimeter or area. Sarah has a walkway of 5 meters wide around her rectangular shaped garden as shown below. If her garden has dimensions of 10 meters by 8, what is the area of her walkway? Now remember, okay, so her garden is 10 by 8. So if we multiply that, or we find out the perimeter of that, 10 by 8, okay, and the walkway around it is 5 meters wide. It's 5 meters wide. So let's add an additional 5 to each of those dimensions. So we'll have 15 by 15 and 13 by 13. Okay, and now we got to figure out the area of that, and you're going to subtract 80 meters squared from that. If you didn't understand, we can talk about it a little bit later. However, I want you to try to solve this on your own, and if you get the answer, please put it in the comments below. All right, moving on. The basic unit of length is the meter. Okay, so here we have the meter, okay? The kilometer, the centimeter, and the millimeter. Remember, the millimeter is the smallest one we're using, then the centimeter, then the meter, and then the kilometer. Okay, so we'll start with the millimeter, which is a very precise unit of measurement. It is 1/10 of a centimeter, so 10 of these tiny little millimeters go into 1 centimeter. Okay, the pencil tip is about 1 millimeter. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, now the second unit of measurement we're going to talk about is the centimeter, which is a small precise unit of measurement. It's 1/100th of a meter. So there's 100 of these tiny little centimeters inside a 1 meter stick. It is used for measuring smaller objects like straws or pencils, and it is about the length of your thumbnail. Yeah. A real coin is about 2.5 centimeters. Okay. A meter is the basic unit of measurement. A meter is about 2 meters in a door, so about half a door. Okay, or maybe a lot of your windows will be about a meter. Okay, it is the one that we use to name the other ones. So millimeter, centimeter, kilometer, they all have the meter in it. Okay, and yeah, it's about the height of your dinner table or the width of a twin bed. Okay. The kilometer. Well, no, look, we measured these in meters, but if you look at the Kingdom Tower in Jeddah, it's 1,000 meters, which means it is 1 kilometer. Okay, 1 kilometer is about the same as 10 football fields or a 10-minute walk or the Kingdom Tower in Jeddah. Okay, remember kilometer, kilo means 1,000, 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Meter means measure, okay? So 1 measure, which is 100 centimeters. A centimeter means 1/100th, so that means 1/100th of a meter, okay? Meaning 1 meter has 100 centimeters. A millimeter, milli means thousandth, so that means there's 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. Okay, and if you need a little bit more help, okay, you can use this helpful chart, okay? So for example, if you want to convert kilometers into meters, times the number of kilometers by 1,000 to get the number of meters, okay? If you want to get the number of centimeters in a meter, times the number of meters by 100. If you want to get the number of millimeters in a centimeter, you want to times the centimeters by 10, okay? If you want to convert it, reverse the order, you take the millimeter and you divide it by 10, which is going to give you a big long number. Take the number of centimeters and divide that by 100, and that'll give you the number of meters, and take the number of meters and divide them by 1,000, and that'll give you the number of kilometers in a meter, okay? All right. So, for review, you can do pages 189 to 195 in your workbook. You can also follow these helpful links, and these will give you some basic activities to do that would help you. They would help you, and also you have these YouTube videos here that you can look at, and I will put some of them in the description. Thanks. Bye.